Hey, hi, hello, how's it going? I hope you're fantastic. Today is another day that you're going to see me grind out a kendama trick from start to finish. I started filming this one in vertical because I was confident that it would be a quick trick to pump out and post on my Instagram, but lo and behold, it took a bit of a grind, and you can see it is the 2-tap into a juggle 2 spike, and it took about the course of a couple sessions over 3 days to finally nail this trick. If I happen to nail it, I guess you'll have to wait and see, but I'm going to give you some tips that help me nail down this 2-tap, and then you can kind of watch my progress from barely being able to string it together at all and then possibly hitting it at the end. So I hope you enjoy. Grab your dama and start to tap in your heart out. And if you like watching all of my struggle and pain trying to grind out a trick, drop a like on this video and then drop a comment saying, what you think I should grind out in the future, what tricks are fun for you, hard for you, easy for you, etc., etc. Subscribe if you haven't already, that would be... And we'll get into day 1 because that's day 0, that doesn't count. So of course, with the day 1 of anything, it's very experimental. I mean, I've tried the 2-tap to juggle before, but it was never something that I put a ton of time into and really learned the technique or anything. So the first thing that I was realizing in this day 1 session was that I was trying to perform the taps way too high up in the air. It was something that I had to get under control to try to, maybe about chest level, keep the taps. I found that gave me a lot more control of the actual tap, because at this point I'm not even really thinking about the juggle. I'm trying to get the taps under control so that, I can move to the juggle after that. So if taps are something you're chasing, I definitely emphasize trying to keep them low and under control rather than flinging them way up in the air, because that gave me a lot of trouble when I'm tapping, up and above my head. It comes out of control way quicker. Another kind of day 1 issue was that I had a lot of hesitation going for the throw of the tama when it came to doing the juggle. I could do the 2 taps on occasion and I'd be able to catch the ken after, but throwing the tama up, it felt like I was really rushing, so I was hesitating because I felt like, I was going to throw it and the string was going to yank and smash my cabinet or whatever. I was just very hesitant to try this, especially indoors. But yeah, so that hesitation was something that I really had to get comfortable with and, just kind of train my brain. You have the time, catch the thing, throw the thing, and if it hits the ground, it's not that big a deal. And it was just really a mental gap getting over, okay, release the tama, go into the juggle. And that's a big factor, I think, in a lot of kendama tricks, is just convincing yourself that you have the time and you have the speed to be able to do certain things. After some reasonable attempts, even on day 1, we roll into the second day, the second session that I really tried to pump out the 2-tap to juggle. And one of the first key takeaways of this day that I noted down was that the taps, I needed to make them harder than I kind of felt was natural. I thought, I'd pull up the ken and then a little dink dink would do it. But you kind of want to put a good bit of force into those taps to really have the ken, first of all, kind of tap back and forth quickly, and then secondly, to have it pop back enough that you can catch it and go into the juggle. Something else that kind of goes along with that is when to tap. I think what worked best for me was learning to tap when the ken is just about parallel to the ground. So, the first tap, it's parallel to the ground, and then it does a full 180 rotation, and you tap it away from you again when it's parallel to the ground. Sometimes I was tempted. This kind of came with the higher height of the taps. I was tempted to tap it when the ken was pretty vertical, and then that made it hard to control. So bringing it down from that height and then tapping when it was parallel to the ground and with a good bit of force, that really helped get the taps even more under control than I could kind of string them together in the first day. Another tip that kind of goes along with that is trying to keep the taps close into your body. A lot of the times I was I had all these ideas. Okay, keep it low, keep it hard taps, but I was reaching way out with my arm, and the farther out your arm is, like, the less control you have of it. So trying to pull up the taps and even like suck in your stomach and feel like it's so close to you, it gives you a lot more control over the taps, and it's just another thing that helped me kind of, get at least some close attempts on this second day, which you're seeing right now. And just like that, we roll into day 3, the third session, trying to grind out these 2 taps. And really all of the tips that I mentioned in day 1 and 2, I'm just carrying those with me into this third day. The biggest factor when, you have all the tips, you've heard everybody say how to hit a trick, and you're just in that process of grinding it out, something important to remember is that you're kind of always making minor adjustments and feeling it out. Just because you've heard all these tips, don't get like dialed into the mindset where you have to do this same repetitive motion over and over and over and over and over again until it eventually hits. Use your senses to feel, oh, maybe a minor adjustment here, maybe a little out, a little higher, a little lower, because for everybody it's different, and that's what I was really trying to emphasize on day 3. Don't get stuck just repeating the same thing over and over again, because sometimes if it's not working, there's a better way to do it. And then, of course, with all of that in mind and some minor adjustments being made, I was getting very, very close. A couple nice attempts, trying to hold in the frustration, which ended up paying off with the last clip that we'll roll right into. I'd put the 2 tap to juggle on a 8.8 on the satisfaction scale. Really glad to have this one under my belt, and maybe I will integrate some taps into tricks in the future. Use this as motivation, go hit a cool trick, and hope you have a fantastic day. Yeah, later.